Gentlemen, welcome to my first video. Today we're going to talk about a topic that really changed my life. And it's really about changing who you are and where you are. Because there's a reason that you are the version of yourself today and where you are today. So let's talk about it. Let me just quickly put this on here. Why you are where you are, right? What does that mean? Is it your fault? Whose fault is it, right? Why are we who we are and where we are? It's very simple. Perception is reality. You are who you think you are. The person that you tell yourself that you are is the version that you are. To this day, you've let your past failures and other people define you. Why? Why do you give other people the power to tell you who you are? You're stuck in your negative thought loops, right? You lost a soccer game. You lost a football game. You've lost a girlfriend. You tried losing weight and it came back up, and you're like, fuck, that's who I am, I guess. I'm a failure. And you always go back to your old habits, right? Because if you tell yourself you're a failure, well, in your subconscious mind, who am I? A failure. So, what does a failure do? Probably the things I've been doing so far. You don't see yourself as the new version that you want to be. You always see yourself as the past version, right? Here's some images from me. On the very left in the middle, you see before I really changed my mind and tried to going for new things. I tried losing weight multiple times. I was not confident at all. I didn't know who I wanted to be. I was fat my entire life as a kid. I was always overweight, was never athletic. I never really did anything. So, who am I? I was the fat, funny guy. And on the left, you see me, I was playing football for a bit. It's probably when I was at my heaviest. Like, I stopped going on the scale around 340 pounds, but I tell you, I was heavier. You can see me next to other people. And then on the right, you see the kind of transformations I went through. On the bottom left, I'm a pretty fat guy. I mean, look at my face. Do I look happy? Do I look confident? Or do I look like, I'm just kind of there? And the top is when I was at my lightest. I was probably 205 pounds. I mean, I was exactly 205 pounds at that moment because it was for it was one of my first fights and I had to make that weight. And I lost over 100 pounds in just 10 months because I reframed who I was in my mind, but I still wasn't happy with that version. So on the right, you see currently, it's a little bit older now, but now I'm pretty jacked. Why? Because I wanted to be that jacked version of myself. I had this image in my mind that I wanted to be. So I changed it, right? You see, you have to do the things that scare you to become that version that you want to be. Like I said, for me, the biggest thing is I wasn't confident. I didn't believe in myself. Even though I was a huge guy, dude, I can tell you right now, I wouldn't have won a single fight. I was afraid. I thought if someone would hit me, I just collapse. I didn't understand. So what did I do? My very first fight ever. I was never in a street fight before. I went into a cage fight. Not kickboxing, not Muay Thai, not boxing, no headgear, nothing. 4-ounce gloves in a cage, and I was fighting other men. And it really changed who I was because I wanted to be someone else so badly. The pain was so strong that I did whatever it took to get there, right? And for me, it's just a tool. MMA was just a tool to become confident, physically adapt, and, see myself as someone who is something. You can see me, getting my hands wrapped. That was my very first fight. I think that was my second or third fight. The picture on the right where I won, covered in blood, becoming that man that I wanted to be. And, I started doing other things as well. Here you see one of my medals that I won for competing in Muay Thai. And you have to do the things that scare you. Why do they scare you? Because you can't do it right now. And what does that tell you? The future version of yourself can do it. That's why you're afraid of it. So stop being afraid, right? You decide who you are. I actually have a tattoo on my right wrist because it's a daily reminder. And it says, I am that I am, and Exodus 3:14. The Bible literally tells you that you choose who you want to be. When God was speaking to Moses, and Moses asked, what's your name, God? God said, I am that I am, because we all have that divine force within to be who we decide to be. We have the free will. You have the free will to be a fat fuck, and you have the free will to be an athlete. It's all up here. You change it day by day. But you have to do the things that the new version of you would do, and you have to do them daily. It's hard, I know. You need to have that clear image in your mind. You're a sailor in the middle of the ocean and you don't know what port you're sailing to. You'll never arrive. You're right now, this is where you are. You're stuck in the endless ocean where you could be doing anything, right? But you don't have a final destination, so you'll never arrive. So you're just kind of going with the flow, accepting your fate, and not taking charge. That's why you are where you are, right? You have to create that new version of you. How can you do it? Let's break it down. What I want you to do today is take 15 minutes, take 30 minutes, however long it takes for you, and make a list of who you want to be, what you want to look like, what your job is, right? How much you're earning. Everything needs to be written down. Once you do that, now you have to break down, okay, that cool version, that person that I want to be. What does that person do on a day-to-day basis? Write it down. Now you have your actionable steps of what to do to get there. It's very easy. You have to journal daily. Why? Well, not because I want you to become a good writer. It's because you need to see what you do on a daily basis so you can reflect on it and look back and be like, okay, I actually followed through every single day the things I told myself to do. You can also look back and be like, man, I told myself I'm going to do this. And today, hell, I'm here where I want to be. How did that happen? It was like magic, right? It's very as simple as that. But the important thing about life is we all live unconsciously. We do not have intent anymore. You eat whatever you find, you do the work, whatever you have to do. You have the TV playing, you just zone in, you listen to whatever fucking music is in the radio. You do not have an intent of your day. You don't plan for it, anything. You wake up in the morning, you rush to work. There's zero intent. Why do you think you are where you are? Right? The actual definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. It just doesn't happen, right? The funny thing is, life is lived forward, but it only makes sense looking backwards, right? When people say build your castle brick by brick, you can't see the castle already. It's not there. It doesn't make sense where it's going to be. You don't know what the end of the path looks like, right? You just have to live forward. But it only makes sense looking backwards. Trust me. Once you journal and you look backwards, you're going to understand why you are where you are today. You need to take responsibility and put in the action daily and don't half ass it. Do it or don't, right? Every time you have to ask something, you have regret. You're going to lie in your bed at night and be like, oh, fuck, I should have worked out harder. Oh, shit, I shouldn't have eaten that cheesecake. Like, don't have ass things. Either do it or don't. If you don't want to do it, you don't have enough pain. Eat more food, become fatter, right? Go into more relationships where you're not the version you want to be and get your heart broken more often, right? If you want to half ass things, continue doing it. You don't have enough pain to change. It's as simple as it gets. But if you do have enough pain and you actually want to change it, I'm not telling you it's easy, but I'm telling you you can do it, right? So, what can we do? Start small, right? A lot of people they try to change their life. They do a complete 360, 180, whatever they do a complete 180, right? And they change everything and it's too hard. They can't measure it and then they burn out after 2 weeks. I don't want that to be you. right? So, what can you do? Take ownership of one thing, just one. If you can do more, great. Don't overdo it. You know yourself best, right? Be it your diet. Stick to a diet for 2 weeks. Track it daily. Even if you don't want to stick to a diet. I mean, like, have a certain deficit or whatever. Have a diet. You stick to it, whatever. If you want to eat fucking 10 cheeseburgers a day, do it. But you're not eating anything else. And I want you to write it down. Write everything down that you eat so you can see what the fuck am I doing with my life, right? Have a workout routine, stick to it. If all of that is too hard, just make your bed every day, right? I mean, you hear Jordan Peterson say it. I don't think for the same reason. I just think you need to get in the habit of doing things with intent. Take a cold shower daily. Just do one thing daily, journal daily. Do something with intent. Because you are where you are today because you're just floating around. We don't want that. We want to be at a certain point. So we need to put intent into it, right? Most importantly, guys, your past may have brought you where you are today and who you are today. But the choices that you make today determine where you will be in 5 years, in 10 years. It will even determine where you are in 3 months from now. So stop blaming others, please. Start taking accountability. Don't dread on your past. It happened. You can't change it, but you can learn from your mistakes. Put in the work today. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about next week. Worry about today and make sure that you're proud of the work you put in today. If you do that, you will instantly change your life. Guys, please, if this helped you at all and you want to hear more from me, I have a newsletter that you guys can subscribe to. And every single day, I will give you actionable steps on how you can level up to the next level and become the version that you want to be. This is my first video. I plan on doing a lot more because my one goal is I want people to be happy. And you can only be happy if you're proud of yourself. Trust me. I was fat. I wasn't confident. I wasn't depressed. I wouldn't say that, but I wasn't happy with who I am. I changed it, and so can you. And remember one thing, stay happy, stay fucking jacked because it gives you energy, and just stay awesome. See you guys soon.